Baltimore Ravens home opener at M&T Bank Stadium today didn't go as planned as they looked to be cruising into an easy victory over the Miami Dolphins. But Mike McDaniel's crew, led by Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Waddle, and Tyreek Hill, sped past the Baltimore Ravens in an epic comeback to take a 42-38 victory out of the hearts of Ravens fans. I got Big Raj. I got Dio Diamond from God Sporting, man. We're going to talk about it, break it down here on Flex On Podcast. Hopefully it's giving you the sports how you want to get it. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that bell. Hit that subscribe button. If you do, comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on the Ravens 42-38 defeat. And if you want to join us, give your thoughts. You can as well. Put those super chats in as we get ready to go live on the Flex On Podcast. Only place giving you your sports how you want to win it. Another Sunday, another Ravens post-game show. Week 2 for the Baltimore Ravens is in the books. Not a happy recap here today, as we're actually mostly in dark colors because it felt like a funeral down at the bank today after the hearts of Ravens fans were taken by the Miami Dolphins, or as D calls them, the Tuners. They came and had a little Edgar Allan Poe with the 42-38 victory and a comeback win. I got my crew with me, Flex Zone family. I'm going to start with Big Raj. How you feeling, my brother? What's up, man? How you feeling, first of all, man? Because you were there, and I'll get to D in a second. He's on location as always. You were there, my brother. You spent your hard-earned dollars, I'm sure. You were at the first home game. It was electric. They started with a 103-yard kick return from Devin Duvernay. They were up by as much as 28-7. The offense, Lamar Jackson probably played his best game as a Raven in his career. But the defense felt like last year yet again, and Tua was carving them boys up like Joe Montana out there.
I don't know where to begin, man. It was electric at the bank. Tons and tons of people. I saw a lot of people down there. I even ran into Rashawn, D. I saw Rashawn at the game. A ton of people, man. And the feeling was great. The crowd was electric. And, at first, during the first 2 quarters, I was feeling good, man. I was like, hey, this game might be over with. I think we've got it in the bag. They're struggling offensively, the Dolphins. And then second half begins, and this is a whole different team. But like you said, I don't know where to begin. So let's just start. Let me just say this, man. I'm still trying to figure it out, man. I'm still trying to process what happened. It took me a while to get up from my seat. But we'll get into it, man. We'll get into it.
Dio Damas, if you want to know where you watching the games at today and how are you feeling after the song below?
First of all, I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings at White Marsh, having a good time, talking with folks out here, checking out. First of all, this Mountain Dew Legend is magnificent. Crack, I don't know what's in it. It's my 4th one.
Don't drink too much.
Purple. Oh, yeah, this is it. So I was chilling. Then I looked up. It was halftime. The Ravens looking good. They didn't get the 1 touchdown, but I thought, okay, they still up by 21 straight. Looked up slowly, seen the Tuners coming back. Had 1 score. We came back and scored with them. So I'm like, okay, all right. We still up 14, we good. Once we was only up 7, I said, oh, shit, here we go. Get the medicine out. Get the pain medicine, get everything out. Then I was like, when they tied it up, Miami did, I said, man, look, we need a long drive here. Get this ball out their hands. And score. Even if it was a field goal, it was less than a minute left, we've been all right after. Nope. They got the ball back right for the 2-minute one. I said, we screwed. You said it coming. Got beat. Defense got shredded in the second half. I mean, I don't know. I'm being nice with that. We'll get into it in a little bit. The offense did enough to win, but could they have played a little better at times? Yes, they could have. But damn, they did put up 31 points. We had the kickoff return for a touchdown. That's 38. That should have been enough to win. We'll get into it. It's disappointing. I have to say that. It's just
Like D said, let's get into it. Let's talk about the numbers. Let's break it all down as we do here on the Flex Zone podcast. As I pull up the stats from the Ravens victory. Like
I
you
mean,
said,
I mean, loss. Ravens lost.
pull defeat out the jaws of victory. That's what
there you go. There you go. Lamar Jackson. Let's talk about him first and foremost because he did all he could. And I said it personally. I think he played his best game as a Raven. Overall, 119 rushing yards, becomes the all-time leader in 100-yard games as a quarterback. Throws for over 300 yards. Throws for 3 touchdowns. I mean, D, let's start there. I mean, what else can Lamar do, man? He put the team on his back.
I thought Lamar had a tremendous game. The majority of this matchup. He looked tremendous. He actually ran the ball more today. The passes was on point. I mean, offensively, for 3/4 of this game, he was sensational. That price was going up, boy. I mean, that money, the money was coming out. I think he ran to talk to DeCosta at halftime. Like, look, don't you see what I'm doing out here? It's time for me to get this money, damn it. It's time for me to get the money. But fourth quarter, they struggled on offense. Roger, to his point, they didn't run the ball. Granted, they need Dobbins back. I mean, it's clear they need a dynamic runner out there because these guys with the pianos on their backs or can't do much. They're limited. Really not going to get the job done. Mike Davis has done nothing really in the 2 weeks. He's done nothing. Drake has done a little something. Hill's up and down. If he's not in the pass game, really, he's not a straight-up runner, so he doesn't work either. Lamar, the defense cost Lamar some money here this one today. They cost him a couple dollars, man. This should have been a win. He did enough to win. His quarterback rating was damn good, and this should have been a W for the Ravens.
Yes, Lamar with 21 and 29, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, 11 yards per pass. He had a perfect passer rating at one point, but ended with a 142.6. Raj, let's talk about Lamar, the big play, and like you said, the lack of a running game. We'll get to the receivers and Titans in a second, but I just want to talk about Lamar. He ran more today. He threw the ball perfectly, and the offensive line didn't give up a sack. And I thought they were going to be a lot worse with McCarry at left tackle.
Man, Lamar was fantastic today. The first 3/4, I thought he did well, especially the first 2 quarters. He was amazing in the first 2 quarters. He got everybody involved. Had that super long catch and Bateman for the touchdown. That was awesome. He got Duvernay involved, got Robinson involved. He got Andrews besides the one drop that he had at first. Played pretty well. I mean, he was pretty much slicing and dicing all day long, man. But and it's not really his fault why they lost this game, but I think it was more play calling than it was him. Because during that second half, after he scored the touchdown when he ran the 79 yards for the touchdown, it just felt like they couldn't really get nothing going, and they made us one-dimensional with the pass. And once they stopped those and they made us give them the ball back, it just the offense kind of extremely flat. So like D said, we're missing the run game, man. I mean, I wish J.K. was out there. I wish he would have played at least. And also Nick Boyle, man. I mean, I don't know where this guy's at. I thought Lamar was I said he's on a revenge tour. This game isn't his fault at all. But it's just really disappointing, man. It really is because he had a phenomenal game. The running game was terrible. It feels like a waste almost. It's like, I mean, what more can you do? I don't know.
If you're just tuning into the postgame show, I see you, Amazing Grace. Go Dolphins. They got the win. Hit the like button. Hit the bell. Please hit the subscribe button if you're new. Big Reg. We see you, Big Reg 29. Appreciate you, brother. Amazing Grace. We see you. Leave a like. Hit that bell. Hit that subscribe button. But let's talk about it. Lamar Jackson, 9 carries, 119 yards. Justice Hill, 3 for 16. Kenyon Drake, 6 for 8. Ricard, 1 for 5. Mike Davis, 5 for 4 yards. Andrews, 1 for 3. The fourth down, I want to talk about those in addition to not being able to run the football. You had 4th and goal, you turn the ball over. You have another 4th down with the lead. You can't get 1 yard. Those have to come back and bite you, as you mentioned, with some of the play calls.
In hindsight, that touchdown that did come back to bite him in the butt. because they came back. I think somebody yelled at Greg Roman after that. They actually started passing the ball well and moved it around and got touchdowns after that. Because, I mean, if you've seen the scout report, the Dolphins' defensive line is great up the middle. I mean, the scout report says that. It's great up the middle. You're not going to get too much penetration there. And our offensive line ain't the greatest to begin with. To your point, Bobbin, they didn't give up a sack. So I got to kudos to them for that. But you got to change it up. You know, third down, okay, Lamar didn't get the touchdown. It was clear he didn't get it. Play action pass, man. You got three great, two tight ends out there. At least that's good. You got a third one right now. We know Ball's not there, but they do have the other rookie that's playing, along with Likely. Play action, get the ball in the end zone that way, man. You're going to have to do it somehow because that touchdown in hindsight came back to bite them in the butt. They didn't have it. If they would have had it, they might would have won the football game. And then one of the fourth downs, they didn't go for. I think they was close in field goal range, and they didn't really go for it. They might have should have kicked the field goal there, man, instead of trying to go for it, man. They up front, the Ravens' offensive line didn't do bad, but at times they did get dominated up front, and that's why they really couldn't run the football unless it was Lamar making something happen himself.
Yes, Amazing Grace Tour looked like Dan Marino. He looked like Joe Montana, and he only got sacked one time, and that was Justin Houston early in the game. So his jersey was clean. I agree with you. Kenny, thank you for checking in. Leave the like. If you want to join us, let us know. We can get your thoughts on the game live. Fourth down, failed conversions. How was the atmosphere in the stadium? What were you thinking when they didn't get not one, but two of them?
Bro, I was just like, yo, what is going on in this game, man? I mean, like, the fourth game, we all they had it, we did. You gotta be kidding me. Then there was a touchdown that the Dolphins had. I think take the lefty or whatever. That it didn't even look like it was a touchdown. I'm like, yo, his whole body was out of bounds, and you got a touchdown. You're not gonna review it? Like, come on. I mean, the atmosphere was just like in shock. It was hard most of the game, and of course, when Tua was being Superman, started creating drives, man. It was just like the whole air out of the stadium just became black. All you could hear was Dolphins fans hollering. Had two of them next to me. They're screaming in my ear. I wasn't even being plotting them or anything. I was just like, we got to get this game up. We got to get this game up. I couldn't say nothing but that, man. I was like, I got it, man. I mean, the atmosphere was awful, bro. It was awful, and the way Tyreek Hill and Waddle was just slicing and dicing this team is beyond amazing. But our running backs, man, Kenyon Drake, he's not good. He just isn't. And Mr. What's the other dude? 28,
Mike Davis.
Mike Davis.
I mean, he wasn't it with Atlanta last year.
He had more carries than yards. 5 carries.
He couldn't get no push at all in this offensive line. I don't know if it's Tyler Lindenbaum who can't seem to get any push, or whoever else is blocking up front. But I felt like the whole day they could not get any push. They were between Drake to Mike Davis. The only person that got pushed was Lamar, and that was a 79-yard touchdown. But I felt like they created really no holes for them. And when they did create a hole, they couldn't hit the hole fast enough. So it was very frustrating. The running game today was extremely more frustrating than last week. Last week was frustrating too, but today it just felt like it wasn't going to be. It just wasn't. It wasn't it today. But to answer your question, man, the stadium, the atmosphere, pretty much after the third quarter, it was just. Every time they scored a touchdown, you just saw people be like, oh my God, is this really happening? And then to leave Tyreek Hill open for those 2 touchdowns, he giving us the peace sign for the second one. I'm like, here we go.
Let's get to the receivers and tight ends real quick. Bateman, 4 for 108, 75-yard touchdown. Andrews, 9 for 104, 1 touchdown. Likely 4 for 43. He showed up today. Duvernay 2 for 42. Robinson 1 for 12 and a touchdown. Even Tylen Wallace would have won with a reception for 9 yards. Right, I'm gonna start with you on the receivers, man. Bateman showed up. Andrew showed up. Likely showed up. Duvernay had a couple plays. He ran back and forth. What more do you want from these guys, man?
I mean, they look like Hall of Fame wide receivers at the first half. I mean, Bateman was doing his thing. Didn't really do anything in the second half, but The first half, he was all over the place. He was super wide open. He was catching everything. Like you said, Andrews was doing his thing, and Duvernay had a touchdown, kick return, and caught a couple passes. Robinson had a touchdown. But what more can you ask from your wide receiver group? They actually stole the show today, and they actually showed up. I kind of figured they was going to do. It just wasn't enough, man. As crazy as it seems, it just wasn't enough. I don't know. I don't know what else they could have did out there. Could he play defense too? I wish, but I don't know, man. The wide receivers did what they're supposed to do. They played great. I feel bad for them as well. As much as I feel bad for the offense in general, besides the running back, maybe some of the line. But yeah, there's nothing else you can really done. They did what they're supposed to do. They got open, they caught the ball, and they moved the sticks.
Go ahead, D.
To Roger's point, he's right, man. And him being there saying it. For the first 3 quarters, the receiver corps was great, man. They did their thing. Ball moved, they caught it, had yak yards, scored touchdowns. It's not much more they could have did first 3 quarters. And then they was pressured at the end of the game, and they got enough to deliver there so they can get a field goal to take the lead. But what can you say? What can you say? They lost the time of possession battle. That really killed them. And that's not on the receivers end. That's more on the game plan and the running back situation. Not much we can say about the receiving corps, but they get it's a loss now, so they get a B. But if they the one, they would got an A.
Let's look at the Dolphins real quick. Tua, 36 to 50, 469, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, only 1 sack. Moses, 11 carries for 51 yards. Chase Edmonds, 5-33. He had a 28-yard run at the end of the game. Tyreek Hill, 11, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, including that 60-yard bomb. Jalen Waddle, he's basically another Tyreek Hill. 11 receptions, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns, 59-yard touchdown. His second, 4th reception, 41 yards, touchdown on 14 yards long. Most of 3 for 28. The Dolphins have weapons, and the Ravens let them beat let their speed just devour them, man. I don't know what they were doing in the second half.
One of the things I talked about with folks during the week is that the Ravens secondary was going to have to press these receivers, man, at the line, jam them so their speed will not become a factor. Waddle runs good routes. He's always run good routes in college as well as in the NFL his first 2 seasons now. His route running killed the Ravens secondary. It just killed it throughout the contest. And the Ravens never recovered. And Tyreek Hill, once he actually left the game, came back. And then once he came back, it was a wrap, man. They tried Hamilton on him. Hamilton didn't know what to do. Then they tried Peters on him, and then Peters got burnt at the end. So, they got torched, man. And props to the Dolphins. They said, hey, we're not going to beat the Ravens up front with running the football. They abandoned it. They said, forget running the football. And they torched the Ravens secondary daily. They needed a Kyle Fuller out there today, boy. It would have helped them a little bit depth-wise. They never adjusted to jamming the receivers, man. You can't give fast guys space because they're going to burn you. And that's what Tyreek Hill does. He does that well. He did it in Kansas City with a better throw. But Tua was confident enough to let the ball fly. And he didn't get touched after that 1 sack from Justin Houston. He didn't get touched again. His jersey was so clean. It shined through the sun. You could see it right through the television screen. I don't know how it was in person, Roger. It was in person.
Bro,
but you could see the cleanness on the television.
He looked like Jesus Christ out there, honestly, bro. Like the light was just shining while he was throwing the football. And like you said, man, they didn't jam him up, bro. They let them run past him. It didn't matter who was guarding who. It just felt like everybody was wide open after the 3rd or 4th quarter. And Jalen Waddle was waddling all up the field and on all the players that were guarding him. It was crazy. I'm like, every time I looked up, he was catching the ball. And then Tyreek Hill comes with the coup de grace 2 times in a row against Peters and Marcus Williams. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. But yeah, I got to give props to you. Tua played his ass off. And if the Dolphins want to get rid of him, y'all are insane. Because that brother was insane. And he showed it very well for them. But hats off to him. They did what they supposed to do. He got some weapons around him that can take the top off defenses, and they showed that as well. I mean, as bad as the game was, I don't think that the Ravens defense is that bad. But they were just off. I think they didn't know what to really do in the second half, and once they didn't get any pressure on Tua, I mean that's all hell broke loose. And then top it off, since the Ravens were scoring so much in the first half, the defense played a lot of that game in the second half. They couldn't get off the field, so that was another reason why the Dolphins receivers was getting so much burn, is because the Ravens defense looked like they was tired out there. So
Well, Big
that's
Reds
far
is
from.
calling out Linderbaum. Raj, what do you think about the offensive line? Seeing him in person, the car started at left. I don't know when we're going to see Ronnie Stanley, but this fool, he practices one day, he comes back, he doesn't practice, and he comes back, and he does videos where you see he looks like he could go, and then he doesn't play. I mean, Linderbaum, he's still having growing pains. I think the right side with Moses and Zeitler is okay. Left guard, they don't really have a left guard. You saw they brought in for Lele for times. He's an extra lineman. I mean, this line, Raj, it's mediocre at best, I guess. We talk about the receivers, but the offensive line is mediocre, probably.
The offensive line wasn't bad, but they just didn't. Like I said before, they didn't get any push up front. I mean, they didn't allow Lamar to get hit really either. But they just feel like they don't have no. What's the word I want to use?
Nastiness.
It looked like they lack dog, like nastiness.
No nastiness.
Especially in the run game.
Especially in
A
the
little
game.
soft.
It looks finesse. And that's exactly what the former Tyler Linderbaum looks like. It looks like he can hold well against the pass. He's great against that. But when it comes to actually like creating holes, he struggles on that. He struggled a lot today. And I'm not gonna say it was all his fault, because it wasn't, but it just felt like times where it was like, all right, we need to get this yard. And sometimes we got it, and a lot of times we didn't get it. And that's what I think that we're missing. We're missing that who's going to push and get things cracking and going. But other than that, the line was all right. They held together for Lamar. Lamar wasn't getting pressured. Plenty of time to throw the football. That's exactly what you want as a quarterback. But when it comes to running the ball, you need the line to create more holes. And the holes they created was not good enough. Not good enough. But like the Dolphins' credit, the Ravens running back, they didn't do any screen passes for the running backs neither. They didn't own the football either as well. So it was like they didn't give him a different look neither. They didn't try to switch it up. They didn't give the Duvernay his usual end around or whatever they like to do. They had no trick plays today. None. They didn't even try to do it. So I was like, they kind of felt really blank. And another thing that I saw that I didn't like was the fact that they didn't spread out as much on the fourth down. They kept it in a small box. I'm like, you got if you want to trick somebody, at least try something a little bit different instead of going straight up the middle. They felt like they was doing that the whole time. Every 4th and 1 that they went for it, they was going up the middle. Besides the one they had a touchdown in the end zone with Andrews. Everything out front. It was predictable. I'm like, what are you guys doing? But other than that, man, offensive line was average at best.
Go ahead, Big.
I mean, they're not a good running line. That's been shown now. Good in the pass. I give them credit for that. They're good in the pass. They're able to attack on that end, but creating holes up the middle, we've seen the first 2 weeks. They ain't good at that. That's clear. So now, if you Greg Roman or Gio, that's his nickname is Gio, you're gonna have to create something where it takes some stuff away from the middle of the field. You got to use Hill in the screen game. No screen game today. Like I said, no end arounds. Got to use the edge to set things up if you're the Ravens right now. Without that, it's going to be some long weeks. I mean, New England fought away today. We'll talk about the other matchups in a moment, but it's not going to be easy. And then Buffalo coming in, and Buffalo looking at this film and saying, well, our quarterback's a little better than Tua. We got a couple weapons that's about right near with Tyreek Hill and Waddle is. We'll be looking at chops in a couple weeks coming into the bank.
And speaking of which, we got Dolphins Bills next week. That'll be a big time game in Miami, I believe. D. We'll talk about that later. But defensively, Marcus Williams, he looked like Ed Reed in the first half, but in the second half, he was nowhere to be found. Derek, we agree with you. We've been asking where Nick Boyle is because they need somebody to help
Where's
block.
Bo?
Right. The defense, D. The secondary still having the same issues of last year. Communication, missed tackles. Marcus Peters was back, but they had him one-on-one against Waddle. Why? One-on-one against Hill. Why? No safety help. Guys miscommunicating. What's going on with the defense, D, especially on the back end? And now with even the injuries to the DBs, you got the rookies playing, Davis and Williams.
I mean, I thought Chuck Clark was supposed to be the communication guy, man. So that's one of the reasons why they wanted to really keep him here, even though he asked for a trade. The communication was poor today, boy, I tell you that. And the front seven looked like Tarzan in the first half. And they played like some shitty ass James in the second half. Because, I mean, Justin Houston, you couldn't find him nowhere in the second half. Nowhere. Where the hell's Olway? I mean, Olway got chipped up last week. I mean, where the hell was he at this week? Didn't do much. I mean, Michael Pierce was so great last week. We know he's good in the run, so kind of figured that. But he didn't do anything this week. None of them cats did anything. The defense, to me, gets an F in the second half. First half, they get about a B, so you combine it. We give them a D minus overall. But you can't play like that, especially in the back end. You can't play like that because, like I said, Buffalo's coming. Cincinnati's trying to figure it out. They still got some great weapons there. They might figure it out by the time week 5 comes. You never know. Still got Tom Brady you got to deal with. And Seamus Jameis was there today, but Michael Thomas is a beast too. You got some guys coming up here before the end of October you're going to have to deal with. And if you can't get this right on the back end and the front end, it's going to be some long Sundays coming up.
Spoke about Olway. He only had 3 tackles, no sacks. Houston, 3 tackles with the 1 sack. Marcus Williams led you in tackles again with 10 tackles. Humphrey was 7. Chuck Clark was 6. Patrick Queen had 5, but he missed a few. Peters had 4. Hamilton had 4. He missed a couple tackles. But the defensive line, D, real quick. Michael Pierce, only 2 tackles. And Matabike was nowhere to be found. He only had 2 tackles.
Oh, forgot about him.
Matter who? Matter what?
All right.
Go ahead, Raj. Your thoughts on that?
Bro, the defense was awful. Second half, the first half they was bending. The second half they was breaking. They was taking all kinds of ways. And Pat, you know what, man? Last week I said Patrick Queen had a good game. A lot of people in the chat. Derek Farrell knows. Derek Farrell was part of that. He was like, I think he had a good game. And this week I could say for sure he was awful. I saw it up first one. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like he was missing tackles. He looked so soft out there. He didn't look like the actual middle linebacker. You know, Ray Lewis and C.J. Mosley used to intimidate you. He don't intimidate nobody. He's just like a fast pass that people just keep throwing off. But get away from there. Get away from it. I mean, that's how he was playing today. And you can't have that as a middle linebacker. You gotta be strong. And he played nothing like that today. Up front was they didn't really have nothing to do because the running backs wasn't really doing nothing for them. But the corners, Marlon Humphreys and the Peters, they was getting torched all over the field, bro. They had no answers. No answers for Tyreek Hill. No answer for Jalen Waddle. Marcus Williams tried. I mean, he had a couple of interceptions. Yeah, and that was cool. He made a legitimate of all his tackles. He even had a couple of big hits. He played more like a middle linebacker than Patrick Queen did. But Chuck Clark was he was trying. I mean, I feel like the whole team was just trying at that. And it just wasn't a terrible effort. But yeah, man, I really don't know what to really say, man. It's just because they played so well in the first half, and I'm just like, man, how do you play so well in the first half? You hold them to 7 points, and then the second half you forget how to play complete football. I mean, did they go on a halftime and then they completely adjusted to you? Maybe that's what the case was, or maybe that Ravens just fell asleep defensively and they couldn't get it wrapped up again. Or maybe they was taking shots at Ray Lewis and the back from the rain and the back. They was back at the loser because they all had their 98 jerseys on. But I just don't know.
Goose is rolling over in his grave
really
saying that.
don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know like what happened, man. They had him under control. They was locking him down, and then they just forgot how to play football all of a sudden in the second half. Like completely. Like I mean, it was amazing to watch. It was literally Mr. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Literally. From the first half, from the second half, they was a whole new football team.
Well, they got to do it anyway in the loss. Give out a game ball, not so game ball. D, you got any candidates for game ball, not so game ball?
Devin Duvernay started the game off with the kickoff return. He fought hard throughout the game, had a couple of receptions. We hope he's all right. Roger, did he come back in the game after he
Nah, he was done. After he got hit, after that second hit,
I think they saying concussion.
he was done, bro. He was done.
that's a huge blow, special teams and receiving if we don't see him for a little bit, man. It's a huge blow. So this game, I give him the game ball. I mean, Mike McDonald, what the hell? You get the not so game ball. What the hell? We said last week you adjusted well. This week you didn't adjust at all. I mean, I don't get it, man. You got to hand it to you today, man. And Bill Belichick, like I said, they're not as dynamic as Miami is, but Bill finds ways to win. He found a way to win today. He can find a way to win coming up next Sunday. And then you got Buffalo, and then you got Cincinnati. So get it together, man. Because if not, they might be running you back to Ann Arbor, for real.
Go ahead, Raj.
I agree with D, man. Mike McDonald. What the hell was that, bro? What are you doing, man? I mean, now granted, like I said, it wasn't all his fault because it was one of those situations where it was just like you had the fantastic first half and then you completely imploded in the second half. But I'm not gonna give him since D already gave him that. I guess I got to give my not so game ball to Greg Roman. Just first half, he did what he's supposed to do. He had all the tricks out there. He was good cross, slant routes to Bateman. He was, mixing it up with Lamar a little bit. It looked pretty. It looked really nice. It looked extremely nice. But the second half, it was just like, okay, we're not running the football. Okay, we're going to run the football, but we get no yards. And then it's just like, 3 and out. First down, 3 and out. First down, 3 and out, 3 and out. Oh, okay, well, all right. Oh, they're back in the game. It's tie game now. I'm like, bro, so inconsistent in the second half. The play calling itself was terrible. It threw Lamar's rhythm all off. And it was just and you allowed your defense to stay out there too much. What we needed was just check down passes. We need the first down, run the clock. They was going for deep bombs a lot of deep bombs, and I'm just like, what? We need check down. We need check downs. That's it. Just run the ball, keep the ball, hold the ball, get your defense some rest. But he couldn't adjust. He didn't adjust. He couldn't adjust. Harbaugh didn't stop from adjusting, and it was a complete utter failure. They only scored 10 points in the third and fourth quarter, and that wasn't enough, clearly. So, first half he was fantastic. Second half he showed his true colors. He gets my not so game.
Real quick, breaking news: looks like Trey Lance will be done for the year.
Jesus Christ!
I just seen that news.
What happened? What did he do?
Ankle surgery. He hurt his ankle. They had to cut him off the field. Got to get surgery. So Jimmy G, all that, and Jimmy G is still the guy.
They did all of
We're
that.
not as lucky. They kept him. They lucky.
Yep. They did that whole thing, and he's Jimmy G is still the guy. Still the guy. I know they praising Jesus right now because they're about to get rid of him, and he's gonna be out without a quarterback.
Yep. But I got to get my game ball to Lamar Jackson, over 400 yards of just offense alone. I think his best game as a pro. Probably his best game as a Raven. His price is still going up, because you got to pay the man now. even though they know they got to pay him. And the Ravens aren't trying to pay him as well in the not so game ball. That front seven, man, only one sack. You had a rookie, not a rookie, but a backup right tackle in, and you couldn't get the one sack. And I mean, I get the secondary was bad, but when you get a guy like Tua, 5, 10 seconds to throw, and he can dance around, it's just not good.
Not at all.
Yeah, I don't think he was ready either, Derek. Let's look at before we get to the other games. Let's look
Well,
at go
well,
ahead.
hold up. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. If y'all actually want to come up and say any thoughts on the Ravens, I'm gonna allow y'all to come up and speak or whatever. So I'm putting a link in the chat. If y'all want to come up and talk about the Ravens, just put the link. Let us know.
Raj, why you do that? Week 3, they go to New England. Never easy, and New England found a way to win today.
Yeah, the Patriots did find a way to win. I watched most of that game. The Buffalo Wild Wings. I wanted to see how both teams would adjust them in Pittsburgh. Both. Um, Trubisky still, he's going to be like that. He's going to have his up and downs. And average day to day. And it just wasn't enough. The Patriots didn't make the big mistake like they did last week against Miami. They was able to hold on to the ball, and they grinded out a win. That's what the Patriots going to be doing now. They're not going to be flashy. Mac Jones going to do enough to win. That's the Patriots' MO. They do enough to win. The Ravens, they got to tighten up, man. They don't got dynamic guys in New England that's going to be able to move you like that. But if you let any quarterback, but if you let Mac Jones stay back there, he'll beat you. He'll beat you too, man. Got to find a way to get pass rush. I mean, it's becoming a broken record now over the last couple of years. Got to be able to pressure the quarterback. If they ain't doing it, it's going to be some long after that.
Raj, what you think about week 3 heading to New England? Not going to be easy.
Bro, it's not gonna be easy at all. I can't remember the last time we won in New England, honestly. I can't remember the last time we won. Belichick is a smarter coach than Coach Harbaugh. Straight up. Smarter coach, has a better coaching staff all around. And always finds ways to win against the Ravens. Except maybe 2012 when we played them one. So it's not. I don't care who his personnel is. I don't care who his quarterback is. They're going to be tough, man. And I can definitely see them actually winning the game in New England. I mean, meaning New England. But for the Ravens, they're going to need to actually study a lot of film. They're going to definitely have to study the film for today. I wish they would burn it, but they can't burn it. You gotta soak in that thing is awful. So you got to look at the film. You got to make your adjustment. You gotta sweep it underneath the rug, and you gotta come up with a better effort. And you gotta play the whole 60 minutes, not 30 minutes, not 40 minutes. You gotta play the whole 60. I mean, I just don't. You can't have an effort like you did today, where you play one half and then the other half you just limbo. So that's what they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to look at a lot of film, and make some adjustments, and definitely play to their strengths. And hopefully we'll see Nick Boyle and we'll see J.K. Dobbins next week, because we definitely need both of them, especially in this run game. I understand J.K. might not be extremely ready just yet, but he got to be better than Kenyon Drake and Mike Davis. He got to be better than both of those guys.
Yeah, even at 75, 80%. Gotta be.
Right. Even at 35 and 80%, I think he's way better.
Better than all three of them cats.
And Tyus Bowser. Hopefully he can come back soon, because Lord knows they need.
Yeah, because Stephen Maines is out. He got caught up as well. That was another injury that really hurt, because he actually played pretty well in week 1. And I was hoping to see him, do what he usually does and be that, that grunt guy until Tyus Bowser comes back. So he's out. That position is already thin as it is. It's just like they slowly
sign JPP, man. Do something.
Yeah, they need to do something like right now. They need to figure out what they're going to do. And especially corners as well, because I think K.K. Williams got hurt his shoulder today. So, we'll see.
Anything else on this game before we head around the NFL?
Pray.
No better way to wrap it up there. Let's look around the NFL. Let's start on Thursday night. D, I want to ask you a question. We know the Chiefs won 27-24. From a broadcasting aspect, what did you think about the Amazon Prime broadcast? Kurt Herbstreit, Al Michaels, who about 95 years old. What'd you think about it, man?
I thought it was a great broadcast, man. You start with the pregame show with Fitzpatrick. I think he's going to be a TV star. I really do. I think he's going to be a good star. They got Carissa Thompson, everybody in there. So the pregame was solid. Game broadcast, they got a lot of the people that runs NBC's Sunday Night Football, either formerly or still doing it. And then, of course, Al Pfeiffer, Al Michaels, I feel for Herbstreit, man. His schedule got to be brutal, man. He's going from doing Thursday night, then he got to do college game day, then he got to do a big college football game. Sometimes they're not in the same, place. So he got to jump on a plane. So God bless him, man. God bless him for his time. That can wear a brother out. I'll tell you that right now. But I thought it was great, man. I thought the broadcast was great. And if you want to watch it for free, watch it on Twitch.
No.
No. Twitch is a nice.
No.
Nice.
No.
Chiefs.
No, pay for NFL Plus or get it through.
Stop it.
You get it through. What was it? NFL Plus and Prime. You can get it through both of those.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. Make sure your internet connection strong though. People connection wasn't strong. Yeah. Me and Rogers was because I had no.
Our internet was fantastic. It was beautiful to watch. It was wonderful. I loved every bit of Thursday Night Football. Can't wait to see it this Thursday as well.
But quickly, the game itself, the Chargers still shown they just not ready to take that next step yet, man. Herbert threw the pick six. Hopefully he'll be okay. They got 10 days. Well, 7 now to prepare for their next game. Hopefully he'll be all right, man. Because if he ain't playing, don't know the Chargers going to be doing all that much, man. Really don't.
Raj, same old tribal chief.
Same old tribal chief. Still doing one of these numbers. Still doing this. Still catching footballs as well. He's doing all kinds of things out there, man. He's magic the football player. And I expected nothing less from him. I expected him to win, picked him to win. And it was a good game, though. It was a very exciting game. But, tribal chief going tribal chief.
Can we get our good brother Mark to the front of the congregation, please, if he's not in the chat? Because I haven't seen him. Because his coach.
He probably drinking some of that Mountain Dew Legend that D's drinking right now. Soak away the pain.
Something a little stronger, man. 24-0. They get shut out by the Cons. I picked Jacksonville to win, but I didn't see.
I did too, by the way, Byron. I did too.
I think I did as well.
Couldn't get going. Matt Ryan, he looks like he's over the hill deep. 24-0, man. They wet the bed last year and tried getting the playoffs. They wet the bed.
The Colts got to really try to draft the quarterback. They went these Band-Aids the last couple of years. It ain't working. They're getting older or broken up as they go on. Like I said, Flip Rivers might have been the best Band-Aid they had for that 1 year. I mean, Matt Ryan looks slow. He looks old. He can't move. He's not mobile. The Jonathan Taylors, they've shut him down, really. Most teams have. Jacksonville played a lot of the ball. Most time I looked up, they had the ball, so they controlled time of possession. And Lawrence had a lot of time to maneuver, so the Colts defense didn't really pressure him. So he did his thing. And the Colts are in a lot of trouble because they can see Kansas City next week. Now, traditionally, Kansas City usually don't do that great in Indy, but the way Matt Ryan looks right now, he might need a stroller / walker to get the job done.
And no Shaquille Leonard, Darius Leonard, he didn't play either. And no Michael Pittman also. And the Chiefs coming off 10 days rest. Go ahead.
I didn't see of course I didn't see the game because I was at the game, but I did see the highlights at the game. And for what I was telling y'all, man, Matt Ryan is done. He's done, man. He's done as being an NFL. He could be somebody's backup. He come off the bench like Joe Flacco does. But as far as actually leading the squad as a number one, the days is over, man. It's over. And clearly Jacksonville had that way with them. They couldn't move the ball. They couldn't score no damn points. And it's nearing the end for Matt Ryan.
The end is here.
it'll be a good week for the Cons. They got to win today, and then have a big show on Wednesday and this coming Friday for Grand Slam. Hopefully. Let's go to the Patriots Steelers. Patriots found a way to get it done. Thankfully, Steelers lost. So I guess there's a bright spot of today, and the Bengals are trailing currently.
Well, of course, I didn't see that game either, but it doesn't surprise me. Everybody wrote the Patriots off because of week 1. But we got to realize, man, is Bill Belichick, and this is exactly what he does. He still finds ways to win for his quarterback, still find a way to run the football, still have a really, really, really good defense. And they'll keep you in a lot of games. Although the Dolphins won, they didn't blow them out last week. They didn't blow them out at all. So the Steelers are in a tough situation today in a very tough game. And Patriots found a way. The Patriots found a way to do what the Steelers usually do. Yeah. So it was.
Go ahead, D.
Looking at that game, Trubisky, he's up and down, and he had a down day. It's not good at all. And the Steelers, they want to grind it out. They want to make you make mistakes, turnovers, and take advantage of them. Like we always say, stale games. That's what they like to do. They've always been like that over the years, but they really got to depend on that now. And I'm going to have some weeks like this. It's going to be tough for them. And it was tough for them today. But Mac Jones, again, really, he hasn't been impressive either. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, the Ravens get them next week. I forget who the Steelers play off. Oh, they're the Thursday night game. They play in Cleveland. We didn't talk about Cleveland second. Who knows in that one, boy? It might be a flip of a coin there.
But go ahead, D. You brought him up. Joe Flacco, 2 touchdowns in the
homie Joe Flacco. He still owns the Cleveland Browns, folks. He still owns them. And my man Chubb had, 3 or 4 touchdowns today, I believe? He was rolling, man. He had 3 touchdowns. He was looking good. But, again, without Deshaun Watson, Brissett's a backup for a reason, and he's not that great. And Joe Flacco is also a backup for a reason. But Joe Flacco, if you give him time, he can still pick you with that arm, and he did it. They got the onside kick late. But the Browns missed the extra point. They would have hit the extra point. It could have went into overtime for them, but they missed it. After hitting the game-winning field goal last week. So the Browns deserve what they get. It's them in Pittsburgh Thursday night. It's going to be – I'm going to say who scores 16 points will win first. Whoever scores 16 points.
Shout out to the New York Jets. They found a way to get a victory. Joe Flacco, my boy, rebounding from last week's debacle. And, he showed that he still got a little juice left, still can, get you a couple wins here and there. That arm still looking beautiful, baby. Brad Wilson, had a great day today. His coming out party. But, yeah, shout out to the New York Jets, man. They got the victory today. Pretty sure we'll hear our boy Quincy on the radio talk his nonsense about how great the Jets look or whatever. But, yeah, shout out to them.
Bengals going for 2 as we speak to tie the game up. But let's go to Giants Panthers. Giants 2-0. Ride with Winks.
Yeah, man, they 2-0. They got a victory over the Panthers. Not sure what's going on with Baker and them, but I didn't really expect much from them this year. And to top it off, the New York Giants actually look like they're actually going to be a good team this year. Both New York teams. So it's a good thing for New York, man. I'm happy for the Giants. I'm glad that Saquon Barkley is healthy. He's showing that he's still got some juice left in this league. He might. So it's always a good thing. Always a good thing to see, comeback stories and then success.
Go ahead, D.
Well, both quarterbacks sucked, to be kind, in that one. I mean, I don't know if either quarterback will be in this league too much more. I mean, Baker's got the name value, so I guess him. But the Giants, as a whole, they find ways to win, man. They try to find ways to win. They force turnovers. But the 2 teams they played, let's be honest. Titans, we know they got a questionable quarterback playing. We know Carolina's questionable. So the Giants got to beat somebody. They got to beat a team that's halfway decent for me to start believing in them. But so far, so good. I picked them 2 to win today, so I'm not shocked they get them 2. They got to play somebody for me to be a believer, because I ain't.
a game that was pretty much split 50-50 because they own the Bucks since Tom Brady's been there. It was a defensive slugfest until the fourth quarter. They were fighting. It was a lot going on. Jameis turning into Seamus D. But Tom Brady and that Buccaneers defense may be one of the best in the league right now. They get a win 20-10 over the Saints.
Mike Evans has to control his emotions. Man. This is the third time in recent years he's had some type of situation with the Saints. You know, it was a little push back and forth. He got ejected. Lattimore got ejected. And that really turned the game around for the Saints because they really couldn't recover from that. You thought it would have been the other way around because Tom Brady's losing one of his main weapons. You thought it would have been that way. But Thomas finds a way. Got to give him credit. I can't stand that old bastard. Got to give him credit. Seamus Jameis was the double agent again. 3 interceptions. Not going to get it done, man. It's not going to get it done. Cannot throw that many picks and get away with it. Especially when, like I said, the game was tied at 3 for a long time. Margin of error slim. And you're going up against Tom Brady. Tom Brady has something to prove because Dennis Allen's defenses, even in this game too, has kind of owned him a little bit. So he was able to overcome it. He got the job done. I'm going to go on record right now saying this. They're going to beat the Green Bay Packers next week. Go 3-0. And right now, they might be the best team in the AFC. I mean, in the NFC right now.
Rob,
I have no thoughts on the Saints or Buccaneers. I ain't see it. I ain't even see the highlights. So it's great that Tom Brady won. You know, he really struggles in New Orleans anyway. So it's good to see him come up with a victory. But yeah, man, like you said, D, he got to control his emotions, man. Mike Evans, he's too valuable for this thing to be getting into these type of squabbles. Because they definitely gonna need them down the stretch, so you gotta control your emotions and sometimes walk away if you can.
Let's go to Cravante's team, the Commanders. They lost 36-27, and it wasn't really that close.
I was okay. No, I didn't see the game, but I saw that score. It was 22-0. I was like, I just thought about Cravante the whole time. I'm like, I don't know if he's going to really, crap on the Commanders next tomorrow. And I mean, I kind of figured the Lions was going to come on. I knew they was going to come out smoking, especially after losing to the Eagles like they lost last week. But yeah, man, I mean, the Commanders, they're a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde team as well because they actually came back in this game, almost made it a game, but it was too much. The Lions did too much down the stretch and they pulled away. But yeah, man, I can't wait to hear Cavante's Commander tryout tomorrow.
The Commandos, D.
Yeah, well, today they was the Commodores since they was in Detroit. And, they got manhandled most of that game. They got manhandled when they was down 22-0. At one point, they only had 16 yards to total offense. At one point, they got their ass handed. I'm just going to say it. They got their ass handed to them. They tried to come back. They tried to do what the Lions did to the Eagles last week. They tried to come back and win the game. The thing is, Washington has to find a way because next week they got the Eagles. If they do anything like they did today, the Eagles will smoke them. The Eagles running game will cream them. And that's what the Lions did. They put Goff in situations he didn't have to throw the ball in pressure situations. And he looked tremendous enough to win, and he won the football game. And Washington is who we thought they were. They all were.
All right, we got some games currently going on. Raiders 23, Cardinals 15. We all agree the Cardinals just ain't it with no D-Hop.
Yeah, they're not it. Not it at all.
They're done. Until D-Hop comes back, they look like a typical team that needs a number one wide receiver. I don't think Marquise is good, and he's not doing anything to offset the loss of DeAndre Hopkins. But it's not his fault either because they're missing Christian Kirk as well. And I think AJ Green is over the hill. So yeah,
Christian Kirk's having a good time in Jacksonville.
I know he is. He's having a phenomenal time.
I'm looking at the box score for the Cardinals. I don't see Hollywood's name. Does he not have a catch? I know he's playing today, right?
He got left in Scottsdale, huh?
He's done. He's back in Dundalk, from what I heard.
Yeah, he doesn't have a catch. It looks like I don't see his name on the stat sheet.
They didn't use me. They didn't use me. Wasn't that what he always said here?
Yeah, that's what he always says. We don't use him enough or at all.
Ridiculous.
Broncos look like they come back 13-9 over the Texans. Broncos still trying to figure it out, looks like, offensively.
Yeah, it looked like they are in Houston. Houston defense has kept them in the football game because they haven't been able to do much either. It looked like McManus just kicked the field goal, so add 3 more points to that. But we'll see if they can hang on, man, because it would be embarrassing if he lost to Houston at home. That would be kind of embarrassing.
Right?
I don't got nothing for you, bro.
It's all good. And the Bengals and Cowboys tied up at 17. Bengals just got the touchdown and the 2-point. Do the Bengals start 0-2 or do Cooper Rush? Do they drive?
The Cowboys haven't really done much in the second half offensively. They've been dominated. The Bengals have had the ball a lot. The Bengals actually should have the lead. They should actually have the lead because they've dominated the second half. But they just tied it up. I'm gonna say no. I say they'll win this one.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the Bengals find a way to win, and we'll be sliding the Cowboys tomorrow or tonight.
Tonight, speaking of tonight, we got Packers, Bears. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to wake up.
Yeah, if they struggle tonight, man, it's going to be a long year for Green Bay if they struggle tonight against Chicago. Now, the weather sucked last week in Chicago. We'll see what they do tonight. But Green Bay got to figure it out. Because, like I said, they got to go to Tampa next week. I don't see them winning in Tampa. That's just my opinion. I don't see it. So they got to figure it out tonight. They need to win tonight.
Do we get Duck Dodgers tonight, Raj?
Duck Dodgers is definitely coming tonight. We're going to win. We're going to right the ship. We're going to get the season involved. Sammy Watkins is going to have a big day. Okay, he's not going to have a big day. But the wide receivers is going to be they're going to be good. They're going to find a way.
And tomorrow, D, we got a double hitter for those who don't know, D. We got ABC and ESPN. Titans Bills on ESPN, and then Vikings Eagles on ABC at 8:30.
So the Bills had 11 days to prepare for the Titans. Tennessee offensively didn't do much last week, and then they gave it up to the Giants. I don't like the Titans' chances. I don't like their chances at all. Unless Mr. Henry is a big dose of him. Unless it's going to be a big dose of him, I don't like their chances at all. And Minnesota and Philly mighty quick. I like Minnesota, man. It might be a pretty shootout game, but I like Minnesota. I think Jefferson is going to be hard to stop. He might slay in them boys tomorrow in Philly.
I got the Bills destroying the Titans. I don't think Bo Derek is going to be a factor. I think his hair's not going to be in the twist. As Jay-Z would say. But yeah, I don't think the Titans is going at all. I think the Bills is going to smash them. As far as the Vikings and Eagles, I got the Vikings winning. Some of that wide receiving core from the Vikings that, and of course my man, Mr. Cook. It's just something about those boys, man. I think they have more offensive firepower than the Eagles do. So I think they pull it out. It's going to be a close game, though, but I think they pull it out.
Any final thoughts, fellas, on this week so far?
Praise God that the AFC North team struggled. Thank God. The Ravens.
My final thoughts is this, man. The Ravens got to go back to the. They definitely got to look if they have to have a team meeting today. I know Ray Lewis was in the building. Ray Lewis talked to the whole team. I hope he would have talked to him, give some encouraging words, because today was a complete and utter embarrassment. I haven't seen nothing like this in my life, especially as a Ravens fan. Stadium. I've never seen them get like 3 touchdowns and give up the whole game in one quarter. Today was an eye opener. It was an awakening. Hopefully, this will propel them to bigger things in the future. And I'm glad they kind of had this kind of loss now instead of later on in the season. Hopefully, it means they'll take things a little bit more serious, especially in the second half and play the whole 60 minutes instead of just playing.
D, let the people know how to keep up with you on your channel on YouTube.
All right, Byron, Sport Network. We are inching closer and closer to 2,000 subscribers. We're about 7 subscribers away from the mark, folks. So check us out. We got some wrestling content coming up this week. And right now, playing St. Francis Fall League action as we speak now.
Raj, how can you keep up with us? And we'll be live tomorrow night for a new episode of the Flex Zone Podcast.
Hey man, check out the Flex Zone Podcast tomorrow night. Notifications. We're gonna have a super lit show. We gotta get Greg's thoughts on this Ravens game. And definitely gonna catch up on the Sunday night football game to see what's going on. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be hectic and crazy. A lot of people are gonna say, "Oh man, what's going on?" We're gonna definitely have a. Speaking of one person, look, it's Mark. He showed up.
Mark, please step to the front of the congregation, brother. What's going on with your coach, man? You didn't miss anything because we'll stay on for you, brother. What's going on with your coach, man? Get beat 24-0 by the walking conference.
I mean, if you want to jump on camera, Mark, I mean, hit the StreamYard, man. And you let us know what happened, bro. Don't shy away.
Right.
So
let us know
what you want to do.
That horseshoe got shoved straight up you know where.
Yeah, Mark, he was talking last week. Matt Ryan had some of the most passing yards in week 1. They're gonna beat him. Just watch. Mark, he picked the Jaguars for a reason.
All right, right from there, right.
Oh, man. Mark, we know you didn't lie on your resume, but we appreciate you stopping that. You can go back and talk about the Colts and Jaguars. Talk about the Ravens. We want to get your thoughts. Let us know. We already know you're going to hit the like button, hit the bell, and we know you'll be in the building tomorrow, so we'll talk more. Anything else, fellas, before we get out of here? For D, check out .Sport.net, Big Raj, hit the like button, hit the bell, the subscribe button. If you want to drop a super chat, let us know. And we'll be back next week for another post-game show. We'll be live tomorrow for the Ravens. For another Total Flex Zone podcast and Ravens content all week. We'll have another preview at some point this week. And Wednesday, I may not be here, but the stream will probably still be here, but we'll let you know as the week progresses. For D, for Raj, God's favorite host signing out, y'all. Ravens lose 42-38. But we're here as always. Let us know your thoughts as we get out of here. Have a great night. Peace.
Peace.